Hey, how you guys doing? It's the producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome back to What We Missed in Wrestling, our recap podcast about professional wrestling now into the 1990s at a time before Nitro, before Raw is War, and that we stopped watching professional wrestling. On the line tonight, it's Brother Beavis. What's happening, man?
Hey, are you ready to rumble?
Yeah. And we're into our favorite federation, the WWF in the 90s. Y'all, woo,
You mean
man.
our favorite entertainment?
Entertainment. That's going to come up here in a little bit. We're at the Royal Rumble 1991. I think it said this the fifth installment of the Rumble up to this point. Uh, if you're not familiar or re-familiarize yourself, this is where they take all the people to get them a payday at the end and throw them into one big old long ass battle royal and put some WWEF spin on it so they can put Hulk Hogan over. That's basically what it is.
Yes.
Did I miss anything there? Because I'm
No, I
pretty
like
sure that's it.
I was watching this and what is it? It's like an hour or almost 2 hours, like just to get to the start of the Rumble.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was just a slog. And then like they started, I was like, I can't sit through another
Yeah.
hour of this right now, knowing how it's going to end. I had to like walk away for several days and then come
Yeah.
back and finish it.
On our
There are
pre
some of these like some of the ones where you watch where you know it's going to end up in Hulk Hogan-ness at the end, but like
mm,
the part leading up to it is actually enjoyable.
yeah.
Like they play out some of the other storylines. This one is not that. This is a lot. This one had, we'll get to it, I guess, but this one has by far the highest concentration of people like leaning against the corner and or the ropes, grapevining the ropes, and just
Ho-
like
Holding
struggling to
on.
not get thrown out.
Yeah,
Oh, this
exactly.
is just like oh shit.
Yeah.
We had like six shows in a row. We got to go do the Rumble. That's all good. We'll just lean into the corner. It's fine.
Yeah, if you're a long time listener of this show, one of the first questions that we asked was, "Do battle royals suck?" Because there's really no real good way to do them.
Mm-mm.
And this, they tried to spin it with this, everybody every 2 minutes or whatever. And it's better, I guess, in that regard. But and having watched the more recent Royal Rumble, nobody cares who's in the ring. You only care about who's coming next. They could give two
Mhm.
shits about who's in the ring. And it's just waiting for the clock. Even before the clock starts counting, everybody's looking to the back. And so, at that point, what happens, and you might as well just put them all in there at once, but I guess it's just the anticipation. So anyway, y'all, the Wikipedia facts, let's get into it. It's jingoism to start before we get to that. This is right before the start of the Gulf War, so I guess we're in Desert Shield. If Wikipedia tells us correctly, Desert Storm is going to start 2 days after this. Um,
1991 to 1992.
yeah.
Civil War.
If you hello kids, if you nerd around for this, let's just say the Iraqis was us playing against Shaq. Um because they had nothing.
Yeah.
We thought they had something, but they really didn't have that. And it was just an absolute, if you went to bed one night like, damn, we in war, you woke up the next morning, it's like, that the war over? What? Damn, I was just
Shock and
asleep for
awe.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was just bad. An absolute display of American imperialism. But anyway, different podcast. So January 19th,
That was like
1991.
Hulk Hogan showing up at the Bash at the Beach in 1995, submitting the entire World Championship Wrestling or whenever the fuck he gets there.
Jeez, yeah. Uh, January 19th, 1991, Miami Arena in Miami, Florida. By the way, I asked you this last time we were in Baltimore. Yeah, Miami Arena, no longer there. That's where the
Mm.
Heat used to play before they made the AAA, which is now named after some freaking defunct crypto situation, like many other arenas. And I'd been to the Miami Arena before, not for wrestling, but I'd been there to go watch the Heat in the earlier in the mid '90s. Not in a great neighborhood. Um,
I think we have the Royal Farms Arena, which is named after a gas station that sells chicken.
Yeah. So yeah, it was not great. Yeah, it was. I think it was FTX last time I was
Oh no,
there.
it's the CFG Bank Arena is now
Mm,
what it is.
yeah, Miami Arena, no longer there. Our attendance is 16,000 people. Sorry, it was the fourth annual Royal Rumble, and our
Who
commentators,
are our three winners then? John Studd, did he won the first one?
Is that what that was? I think, did we watch the first one? It must be, no, because that would
Oh,
have
maybe
been,
we watched the second one,
I think we started in 89. So
the number.
yeah. I don't, I
Yeah,
mean,
there was
Hogan's
one in
won at least two of these now
there
after
was
watching
one
that.
in 88 that was won by Jim Duggan.
Oh, we definitely didn't watch that.
Yeah, we definitely did not watch that. He
We would
won
have
the
been hyped.
first Royal Rumble. That's crazy. That was pre him and the Sheik,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah.
Then the next one was Big John Studd. That's the one we watched.
89.
And then was it Hogan?
And 90.
Yeah, Hogan. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Hogan 90. So Duggan, Big John Studd, and Hogan.
Nice. I mean,
All baby faces.
yeah.
Well, Big John Studd was a pseudo baby face at that time. He had
Yeah.
come back as a someone to wrestle Evil Andre.
Yeah. He's coming back to back Hogan here with these wins. Spoiler alert. Commentators
Oof.
Gorilla Monsoon and a Roddy Piper that is sponsored by cocaine because
Ugh.
he is way over the top. His jingoism is way over the top. Like, I mean, he's got his yellow support desert shield thing on, and he go on their opening monologue. He just goes off. It's almost uncomfortable, to
It's
be honest with
unbearable.
you.
He's unbearable in
Yeah.
this, and like Gorilla was only good with Jesse Ventura,
Mm,
and he was great with Jesse Ventura because like he wouldn't just roll over like Shivani did.
yeah.
Like, uh, but but the two babyface commentators,
Mm-mm.
and particularly with Piper, this is unbearable,
Yeah.
horrible.
He's terrible. And again, we're gonna get to this as we start to go through some of these in other years too. What is up with Vince making, because Piper could still wrestle. I know he wasn't wrestling as much because he was trying to be a movie star, but that really wasn't macho. It's like, why are you putting like people that are still active wrestlers and forcing
Yeah,
them to be commentators? It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I
So
don't know.
yeah, I mean,
I
put
mean,
Piper
maybe it
in the
was
ring.
because whenever like these mid-sized guys would get over and would make sense for them to be at the
Yeah.
top of the card, there wasn't room because
Mm,
it was all bodybuilders at the top of the card.
right.
So that could have been it. Like, you're over, but I can't put you over in the ring. So get yourself over on the mic.
Right.
Or they were like, I don't care. The paycheck is the same. I will
Yeah.
sit here with a microphone.
Exactly. They do, after the opening intro, they do a who's who title card of who's in the Royal Rumble, and that is the most RIP as shit ever.
Mm,
It's like, ooh, I'm watching. Oh, dead, dead,
yep.
dead,
One,
dead,
two,
dead. It's really, really
one
bad
of
that
them.
there's so many of them that are gone here. Like I said, Operation Desert Shield starts 2 days after this particular pay per view, and those are our Wikipedia facts. All right, so where are you? January 19th, 1991.
Uh, January 1991. I think I might have been on co-op.
Okay.
That would have been yeah, that would have been Winter Core. I might have been back in the motherland on
Oh,
co-op.
okay. Nice. Yeah, I'm back in undergrad, and I mean, it's January over there. There's nothing to do. It's freaking snow up to the roof. So class, go home, play
I mean,
video
and
games.
this is around the time. This is a, this is around the time like where I was, if I would be back in Dayton without a full cadre of people that I knew and
Mm.
starting to develop some income. This is when I started getting comic books again.
Ooh,
So like
yeah,
right around there.
yeah. No, I'm still hiding my
Because
nerdism. No,
see,
nobody
I
knows.
was white, so I could go to the bookie parlor.
It would have still been open at that point, correct?
Yeah,
It was
it
a.
was the one. It's over by. It was off Wilmington. They had
Is
moved
that
it.
they
It wasn't the
already
old
moved
one.
it?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah. I mean, I did go in there. There's a kid that worked in there that we knew that then died or
yeah, yeah,
something, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
He had some form of cancer.
Yeah.
But shout out, Mavericks was always better than
Yeah,
they had
that's
the
it.
D stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
All
they
right.
had D. Yes, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
they
so.
did. All right. Match number one, y'all. As we get into these matches, I think there's four actual matches before you get to the Royal Rumble. Lots of backstage bits, lots of in front of the audience things as well to kind of stretch this pay-per-view out. And that was going to be my first note here with this first match. The pay-per-view's way too long. They were like, shit, we paid for 3 hours. Y'all, we getting our 3 hours in. I mean, that's like, the parking meter. I'm like, fuck, I paid all this money to park here. If I sit in the car until the meter goes off, I'm doing it. And this is what that pay-per-view is. It just goes way too long. So match number 1, the Rockers versus the Orient Express, which is Kato and Tanaka, with Mr. Fuji, RIP. My first note says match is super long and very weird to start. And we are also not only hating on Middle Eastern people at this point.
Worth pointing out that this is a new version of the Orient Express with the masked Kato instead of Mr. Sato, I believe, not Mr. Saito. Or no, it was Sato. It was Sato and Tanaka, not to be confused with Mr. Saito, who was in the other Jingo tag team title tournament. So this is Paul Diamond in a mask. I don't know.
A mess.
Yeah,
it's a mess. Okay,
we've had to sit through a lot of Orient Express matches.
This is the second one. They won the one against the Rockers that we sat through before. Remember, they threw the same because Shawn Michaels was hurt.
The ceremonial salt.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels was hurt and he couldn't do anything. And
we've only seen them twice. Are you serious?
We're only seeing them versus the Rockers twice. I'm pretty sure we've seen them in other things.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, because if we've only seen them twice, then their match length must be infinity, because I feel like I've been watching them more than anybody else since we started this series.
Yeah, they won one match that we have known of because of that. Shawn Michaels couldn't, and they won it by count out.
Shawn Michaels was hurt.
Yeah, he lost his smile again. Let's see. Okay, so I have to say this, and I'll get to that thing that I was alluding to before. One, Rockers are better than I remember. Like, for sure. Like, I definitely did not remember them being as good. I just, always looked at them as a rock and roll knockoff. So here's the question. And again, my brother's not here, so he wouldn't believe I'm going to ask this question. Dare I say that the Rockers are better than the Rock and Roll Express as a wrestling tag team?
Define better.
I got you. And math. Okay.
Shit. Graph?
Yeah, here
Is there a graph coming?
There's no graph. Okay. Hold on. All right. Ricky Morton is equal to, as a tag team, not singles. Ricky Morton is equal to Shawn Michaels as a tag team wrestler. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Okay. You're saying Ricky greater than?
No, I mean, you might be able to say they're congruent, but they're not equal. They're different. Like, the strength of Ricky Morton is he can sell for 45 minutes.
Okay.
Not like do moves for 45 minutes.
Okay, but Shawn Michaels, even though he does it on purpose, he oversells, but it doesn't feel out of congruence most of the time. It kind of feels natural when he's a tag team wrestler. As a single, he's even more over the top.
I would say that Ricky, maybe this is offsetting. So I would say that Shawn Michaels overselling is not equal to Ricky's selling, because Ricky is like, people literally want to kill Ricky Morton's opponent during the match. Whereas with Shawn Michaels is like, oh, you're very clearly trying to outshine your partner so you can become a singles and get a push and have a long run as champion. That's very clearly happening. But in terms of like athleticism and actual in-ring performance, I would say Shawn Michaels is by far better than Ricky Morton.
Okay.
I mean, so from that perspective, if you were going to offset those two aspects of them, they're approximately equal.
But that's what I'm saying. But as tags, not as, like, we know Shawn Michaels later on becomes like this great singles wrestler. Ricky never does. But as tag team partners, I think they are close.
No, but even in the ring, like come on, like Shawn Michaels' elbow, like Shawn Michaels' moves are better than Ricky Morton's.
Okay.
Ricky Morton has a great drop kick and a couple
his
other
punch.
moves.
His punches are great. Ricky Morton has great working punch. All right. Marty Jannetty is greater than Robert Gibson.
Yes.
As a tag team wrestler.
Yeah.
So if R is equal to S and J is greater than R, I'm saying that the Rockers are the better tag team. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about draws. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just saying as a team, because when I look at the Rockers now, I'm like, man, these dudes are pretty good. We haven't
Yeah.
really seen them wrestle anybody that's as good as them, even though we've seen them lose. Like they've been infused with like the fake Road Warriors and then the Orient Express or anything like that. They never really had like a tag team. Like I haven't like if they were at face like the Hart Foundation or something, but they wouldn't have because they were both been baby faces. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
think I mean again, not counting money, draws, and all of that. I just as a tag team, I think they might be better than the Rock and Roll Express.
That's
Hindsight
fair.
being
I would say
2020.
the other advantage they have is Marty and Sean are a little more interchangeable. Like
Mm,
you could work a match where either one of them was in jeopardy and
yeah,
either one of them was coming back,
yeah,
right? But with the Rock and Roll Express, it really only worked one way.
right.
It was Ricky's going to work most of the match, get his ass kicked.
Mm,
Robert would come in, fist and fire, and then pretty much go to the finish.
right.
I mean,
But
that
think
was the
about
formula.
and then think about what we know now because we didn't know it at the time. Like Robert's fired up comeback, it kind of sucked. His drop kick sucked, his punches sucked. Like there was nothing about his
Mm-hmm.
offense coming in that would make him better. When I seen Marty Jannetty come in like on the hot tag here, I mean, dude
Yeah,
is
yeah.
they're better
I
built, they're better athletes. Like there's nothing that you other than I mean, looks or
so
whatever. I don't
let me
know.
put it this. Let me throw this then,
Mm,
because they are a little more equal. Compare the Fantastics to the Rockers, because now you have the same sort of thing where you can go either way,
mm-hmm.
and they both look like professional wrestlers.
Yeah,
Because the knock on the Fantastics was just that they always came into markets that or came into territories that the Rock and Roll Express had already been through.
right.
So they were just like they were always derivative of the Rock and Roll Express just because they always came into the territory after they've been
Yeah.
out. I mean that happened WCW, Mid South, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think the Fantastics are potentially better than the
The Rockers.
Rockers.
Okay. Yeah. And I have to go back and watch fantastic matches, which is going to come up here soon, y'all.
Mm,
Because they're going to be a pop up in WCW. But I'm just looking at this like over the last times watching this, and I'm like, man,
yeah.
because we're seeing like kind of late run Rock and Roll Express in WCW. Robert is hurt, and they're about to be done anyway. But it's just like, man, at this time, maybe they had them at the beginning, the Rock and Roll Express did, until they got like experienced the Rockers. But
Mm.
like right now, I mean, they're such a solid tag team.
I mean, the huge difference would be, and again, this goes back to our Marvel series, right? Like the villains make the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
The Rock and Roll Express had the Midnight Express. Who did the Rockers have?
yeah, exactly.
Nobody.
Yeah, Rock and Roll had the
So
Horsemen. Yeah,
yeah, from that perspective, like to be the foils of the villains and for their victories to mean what they did. Like if you're gonna if you're just if you're just gonna like without any context turn on a particular match,
mm,
um, and you watch the Rockers match in a Rock and Roll Express, I could see how you would reach that conclusion.
yeah,
But to watch the Rock and Roll Express come in and beat the Russians and get the titles, and then chase forever and finally beat the Rock and Roll Express
yeah.
and get beat down by the Horsemen to the point where you credibly believe
Yeah.
Ricky Morton could beat, by God, Ric Flair.
My
Like
God.
the Rockers have nothing in that.
Right. Yeah.
They have no signature enemies, no
Matches.
signature matches.
Right.
They were they were a
Un-
piece that they were the action the action figures are the piece that Vince wanted because other people had them, and they look a lot better than the
yeah.
alternatives.
Those two Southern
That's all.
wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I
in with no context and in isolation, I would take your equation that yes, the Rockers are better, but in any other, like once you start to really work through it,
yeah.
no, they had nowhere near what the Rock and Roll Express did. And I'm sure if you looked at any draw, any sort of
Oh yeah.
statistics on
No,
who
that's
made
not
what
even.
money,
Yeah. No.
it's
No.
out of
No.
the question.
Yeah. No, that's not even a part of it. All right. So and again, if it feels like we're not talking about this pay-per-view, there's a reason. So I guess we got
Well,
to
and
talk
I
about.
would say since you exposed yourself and made yourself vulnerable and
Mm,
admitted that your love of the Rock and Roll Express is,
mm,
I'd go far to say I think the Steiners are a lot better than the Road Warriors. And
yeah, I agree. No, I agree. Like if you put it together, you have to take out the draws and the money parts because I mean, which means something. Don't get me wrong. Like I understand that, but if you're talking about being able to wrestle, hold a match, and go through it, as we've seen in this series, when we've seen the Road Warriors have to wrestle matches,
horrible. It
horrible.
just doesn't it like then
It
it's not
feels
that they're
terrible.
bad of it. It just doesn't look right. It just like
Yeah,
it,
what
like
made them special disappears completely.
right. This can't be happening.
Yeah.
Like everything I liked about them, because I only ever got to see them fight jobbers, is nothing that's ever been in any of these. Whereas the Steiners they
Go
can
with
fight from
anybody.
underneath
Yeah.
and they're way more athletic and just as powerful.
Yep.
Like Rick Steiner's clothesline is every bit of Animal's clothesline.
And then some. Yep.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree. Too many revelations. It's hurting my brain.
we've undone our childhood on this.
Exactly.
It's like this
Uh,
is therapy. All
yes, it is.
right.
Pay the secretary on your way
We
out.
should like do this on a couch. We should
Yeah.
recline on the couch. Tell me about your road trip.
Tell me where the Road Warrior touched you. Uh, uh, so Marty Jannetty's Dark Side is probably a decent transition here.
I haven't even watched that. Like I
Oh, okay.
can't
So
like
then we can skip it then. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I mean
He's
I know a
nuts.
little bit about it, but like
Yeah.
I never watched the only other one I've never watched I think is the Fabulous Malou one. Because I'm
Okay.
like
Don't
I don't
care.
care enough. I don't care enough about Marty Jannetty.
Okay. Well,
So
I think it would mostly be somas plus CTE and painkillers. That's pretty much the thing. And once he's dead, they'll find that his brain is probably mush mush,
well, they
and
also
that'll be it.
I also saw something where he came out and was like, "Oh, the lady. I guess there was some lady, his girlfriend or whatever. I
Mm,
don't know who she, ho bitch. I don't know
yes,
what
I
she
don't know
was.
what it was.
um, that he was like, oh yeah, she's like psychotic. Like she will say anything. She's a pathological liar, which he's also a pathological liar. So I don't
Right?
know who to
Yeah.
believe.
That
But
every
like I could
accusation.
see how them latching on to somebody who's just willing to tell wild Marty Jannetty stories and be like, oh, we can turn this into an episode. We're getting light anyway. So
Every accusation is a confession. Okay, so we'll skip over that. Okay, so also in my reading for this match, Dave Meltzer said that this match, the Rockers versus the Orient Express, was the best wrestling match since uh Savage and Steamboat at WrestleMania. So there's a question here. What is it with Meltzer and these knockoff tag teams?
oh,
Because no matter what you think of Nick and Matt Jackson, they are a knockoff of the Hardy Boy.
well, yeah.
Period.
Where's Meltzer from?
California.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So
I just think he's not a fan of the Southern wrestling.
is that what
Like
it
even
is?
like I think and why does he hate Kurt Angle? What
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just
I just
weird.
yeah, I mean like because his like he'll acknowledge it, but it's not like he puts over Flair, Steamboat,
Yeah, it, it's it,
uh
it's bad though. But like it's bad. Like again, we watched this match. This was not a 5-star classic.
no.
Nobody would have been chanting, this is awesome or any of that. It's a regular ass tag match
It's as
for
long
20
as fuck.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as fuck and boring. And who do you know? I have no I had no doubt who was going to win this.
Yeah. And then, yeah, and there's nothing that stood out in that match. There's not like a spot or anything. It's just a fucking tag match.
And if I can't remember the finish, but I just remember it being over.
I got
Like,
it. Janetti got the hot tag. My note says Michael's dead on the apron. It's a double sunset flip, double pinfall at 1919. That's
which
the
is
time limit.
illegal, but whatever.
Yes. But that's it. I mean, yeah, we spent more time on this match as much as we've talked about it already than we should. But I'm just saying, there was nothing special about it. I don't know what Meltzer was talking about, and whatever. Yeah, he loves knockoff tag teams. That's basically what it is. Yeah. Because can we get the one other side top before we get the match too? The Young Bucks suck. Like I
Yeah.
don't get it at all. Let's just do it like that. I don't get it. Like I understand the things that they do, but at they're smaller than Ricky and Robert.
If you took out 6 kickouts a match,
Yeah,
could you
that would help.
tolerate them?
Yeah, maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
But most of their shit looks like shit. You know, like their super kicks are bad, which is one of their favorite things. The flipping stuff doesn't bother me all that. I mean, we used to watch Lucha before we knew it was Lucha Libre on Nitro all the time. We didn't hate it then. So people,
No, it was great
yeah,
when they were
it was
young guys.
different.
They were smaller guys who
Yeah,
were really athletic and did cool moves, and then they would get hit by something heavy and get pinned.
yeah,
It
not
wouldn't
kick out.
kick out at 2.9 times in a row from 3 consecutive pile drivers.
Yeah,
But
it's bad. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, all right, y'all. So there's a backstage foreshadowing as the Macho Man is talking about the Ultimate Warrior, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. There's about to be one of the most awkward bits I've ever seen on wrestling coming up, but we'll get to that in a minute. uh, Yes.
that's so
So
good.
actually, oh no, it is before match too. So yeah, so Savage goes out and he's in the back and he's talking, and then they kick the Sherry and in front of the live crowd. It was this with Mean Gene, R.I.P. Section here. Um, and so they bring out the Warrior. He's in his red and white, blue face paint and panties, and Sherry.
All but jerks him off in front
Yes,
of the camera. All but.
all but she rubs his chest. He's playing his horny face, which is pretty freaking hilarious too. She winds up dropping to her knees. I'm like, what is this? This is 1991. I know it's on a pay-per-view, and and I think she kisses him as well at some point.
I think she does, and that's what sets him off, or she tries to,
Yes.
or whatever.
Well, and if she was basically trying to convince him to have a match with Savage after he beats Sergeant Slaughter. Oops. And his response to this is just a big long no. And that's what sets it all off. And then that's that. Yo, it is one of the most uncomfortable things and it wasn't so uncomfortable because it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable. But that shit lasted forever.
Yeah.
Like that was like a 10-minute bit. And I'm like, man, this is
Yeah.
awkward. And the
That
crowd
was
you could feel too. It was like, oh.
that was definitely some workplace sexual harassment mixed in with some sexual assault. It was awful.
Yeah, not good.
So I do want to say this, and not for this segment, but we have both seen people that we've used to like and have less regard for after watching this.
Yeah,
And the reverse is true.
yeah.
And Jesus, Sherry Martel,
Oh, yeah.
superstar,
Yeah.
superstar.
Absolutely. Had it all. I tweeted as I was watching this match. I tweeted something to the effect of what did I say? 1991 me didn't appreciate Sherry.
No,
2023 me, yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
get all of it, and
yeah,
she's great in every way, shape, or form. And so yeah,
yeah.
big fan.
Absolute superstar.
Yes,
So good. And I mean, you can't say I'm underappreciated by us. I think I don't think
yeah,
underappreciated by the industry or anywhere
yeah,
she
for
was. But
sure.
wow, and I'll just point back to like that match with Sapphire and
Hmm.
the mixed tag, like
Yeah,
the work that she does in that,
yeah.
like is
Only
just
she could have done it.
amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
And it just kind of really pisses me off, like the way she had to like bump in all the Hogan stuff.
Yeah,
That was all bullshit, but
yeah,
amazing. She's
yeah.
phenomenal. She is truly sensational,
I
and
agree.
unfortunately, no longer with us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Damn. Speaking of no longer with us, match number 2, y'all. The Big Boss Man, RIP, versus the Barbarian with Bobby Heenan. Again, way too long. A big man match at 14 minutes long. There's a lot of stalling because I'm sure they were tired as hell. And I'm like, why is this match? It should be like half that time, especially if you're just gonna put Bubba over. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, what was I mean, Barbarian looks great. Like, I mean, good grief. And again, I can't believe he didn't get a run at Hogan as one of the monsters because I'm pretty sure he does when Hogan winds up in WCW. But like, man, like Barbarian looks great. Like, I get it, but like, why is he in a feud with the Big Boss Man? Just because? Like,
Well, so I think it's weird because they're wrestling as singles, but I think they've put several coats of paint on the Barbarian and the
mm,
Warlord, the Powers of Pain,
mm,
up to this point. But I think we're about to start to get the Barbarian and Meng that would become the Faces of Fear in WCW.
okay.
So like they're and I feel certain like he's wrestled Hogan in a gang of house show matches, but
I'm
probably
sure.
never had like a pay per view or TV program with him. And the Boss Man is kind of stuck now because like he had his Hogan run, but he's a baby face now,
Yeah.
and he's just like he's in that like Duggan slot now. He's like in that you're never gonna have a title. People like you. We're
Yeah.
probably gonna you're the guy who beats the jobbers to the stars and things. It just he's
Yeah.
just in this sort of gray area
Yeah. We're
where
giving you this
you're
gimmick.
not in title contention, but you're usually going over and the people like you.
Yeah, we like your gimmick and the people like your gimmick, so we're just gonna keep running you out there because of this gimmick. My note says the crowd was completely dead.
Yeah.
So many rest holds, chin locks and bear hugs and all of that. And it's the botched crossbody flip over rollover thing for the finish.
Oh.
And they botched it too. Like they really had to get some extra help over there for the boss man to win at 14-15. Yeah, not good. Like not good at all. Let's see. We go
But cash that
backstage.
check, Bubba.
Yeah,
Get your
cash
money.
that check. General Adnan, RIP, just died like last week. And
Really?
yeah. He just died. And now we have the Sergeant Slaughter, real American hero, G.I. Joe, has become an Iraqi sympathizer. This is the gimmick that he has been running with. And he was running with this, I think, even in the last pay-per-view. So this is kind of long-term booking. And okay, and they're just, they have the Iraqi flag out there, Sergeant Slaughter mugging for the cameras, and I would call it lightweight racist ways to try to look like I don't know what the fuck he's trying to look like, but it's not good, not a good look. Um, yeah, just and then the kick to the warrior, he has a promo that makes absolutely no sense. On
Yeah.
brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely on brand. So that leads into match number 3, y'all. It's for the World Heavyweight Championship, the third match on the card. I think that should have told if we knowing what we know now, would have been like, damn, the championship match is third. That's probably a sign. It's the Ultimate Warrior versus the champ versus Sergeant Slaughter. He comes in the ring and he gets an Iraqi flag. He tears it up. That's not great either. It's not a good look. A cheating ass babyface is my other note because he does everything. He beats him with the freaking stick of the flag. I mean, like he chokes him with the remnants of the flag. Like, is the match started? Like, what's happening
Yeah.
here? Like, is this okay? And then that's it. And match starts. He beats the hell out of him for a while, and then Savage comes down to the ring there and creates a distraction, which allows Sergeant Slaughter to get heat. And if you like bear hugs, this is the match for you because Sarge. You can look it up on Google. I'm gonna shoot a guess. The Sergeant Slaughter in this spot is 50 conservatively. He's probably 50 because he's still with us. And that would, if he
He
was
was
50
born in
and 90.
48. No, you're way off. He was born
Oh,
in 48 and this was
okay.
91. Well, not way off. So that's what, 43?
43. Oh, God, then he's just out of shape and
He's
terrible at
definitely,
43.
yeah.
Yeah, well, he was eating too many G.I.
Well,
Joe
he
cereals then.
looks exactly like he did. Like I'm looking at a picture of him from 2022. He looks
Yeah.
exactly like he does in
Okay.
this.
So he didn't age. That's good. So he might just want those dudes to look old forever. That's fine. He's not a good wrestler at this point. He's out of shape. His guts like
Well, the
sticking out.
you say that, but like his selling and the bumps he takes in the first part of this match are crazy.
Yeah.
And then
It's with his
then
offense.
yeah, his offense is
Yeah.
just so painful.
Methodical.
It's methodical. Yes. Yes,
The
it is
elbows to
definitely
the back.
methodical.
Yeah, the
Yep.
elbows to the back
And he usually does like five
repeatedly.
in a row. It's
Yes.
like, how does he fall in slow motion? Like, I don't understand. Like, gravity doesn't affect this man in the same way it does everybody else.
uh, yeah, yeah, methodical to say the least. Several rest holds, including the bear hugs, and then the Warriors getting his Hulk up.
Yeah.
And then we get a second run in this time by Sherry. And then, as she's dealing with Sherry, Savage comes in with the second run in himself, hits him with the scepter, knocks him out. And by the way, the violence against women again with Sherry.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we could deal without that. Gets him hits with the scepter, 1, 2, 3. And my note says this: when I tell you that no one believed this shit was going to happen, I believe it. That crowd. Remember when freaking you seen that meme or the dude when the Ultimate War or the Undertaker lost at WrestleMania, and that black dude's just like, "What?" That was 16,000 people. There ain't not one person thought that shit was going to happen because they were stunned
Yeah.
in the silence. Like, what? You would almost say this was the Miami screw job because even the way that Gorilla and Piper sold it, I don't think they believed it either. So we get into
Yeah.
this thing like Warrior's a pain in the ass. Everybody knows it. He's a terrible champion. His wrestling skills suck. His promos suck. He just, excuse me, looks good in the suit. And then they figured out they had to get that freaking belt off of him so they could get it on the Hogan.
Yeah.
And then doing these shows and the research or whatever, like Ultimate Warrior is a one-time world champion.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
The way he's talked about and referred to, you would have swore he had several runs, and his
But
run here lasted just over a year.
But to be fair, I mean, we have like the things that we were sure we watched for 9 to 10 years at least were like 18 months.
Yeah,
So
that's
there
true.
is there is like comics and wrestling have that same time dilation where Peter Parker's been 18 since 1963. The Road Warrior or the Ultimate Warrior must have been the champion for long. No, a year. Yeah.
A
So
year.
to be fair,
Yeah,
they somehow they twist time on us.
but that's it for him. Like, I mean, I know he's going to
Yeah.
go into this feud or whatever, but he's never going to even sniff the world title again
Yeah.
before he's gone.
Well, wasn't this like this was the he was starting to be an issue and like Hogan and Savage weren't or Hogan and Slaughter thought they might have to you know, like they might have to legitimately Montreal screw job him though.
Yeah.
So
Well, when he does lose when they announce it, then he just runs off like a little kid
yep,
to the back. I'll
yep.
cry.
Yeah, he just pops
He
up and
just
chases
runs
after
and then
Savage.
starts running off. I'm like, really? Oh my God.
Run,
Tears.
warrior, run.
Oh my God, real tears. So yeah, Sergeant Slaughter is your new WWF champion, the Iraqi sympathizer. Again,
Yep,
spoiler alert, that belt's coming off quick,
yep.
folks. It's coming off quick to the winner of the Royal Rumble. Who I wonder who that could be. This is a
Right.
terrible match, though. This is a terrible match. He's a terrible wrestler. They did whatever they could with him to get him to that point, but he didn't improve in that year. I don't think he had any intentions on wanting to improve. It is what it is. Yeah, Warrior sucks. I mean, you had to be 10 to like that shit or less. It's just terrible wrestler. Turned out to be a terrible person too. So
Yep.
whatever. All right. Match number 4, y'all, as we affectionately would call the Black Beatdown.
Mm.
It's Jacques Rougeau as the Mountie now, coming out of he was in the Rougeau brothers as the tag team when we first started watching this. Now he's a singles wrestler looking like Dudley fucking Do Right. Look it up, Google it if you're old, young, versus Coco Beware, the Birdman. I mean,
I mean,
when we did the
it's
preview show, you run down the matches that are on the pay-per-view and you're like, oh, the Mountie versus Coco Beware. I'm like, well, I know who lost that one
yeah.
because
I mean, the only difference is like normally he gets squashed in 2 minutes, and
yeah,
we actually got a 9 minute Coco Beware match.
yeah.
So
Coco, my note on here says I'm not gonna review this. Like, okay, so I watched a lot of Mid South wrestling and whatever when I was a kid. He was like the black baby face there in Memphis for a while too. He was a villain for a bit in the feud against Lawler, but he was mostly a baby face. Dude has an incredible drop kick. Like he could
mhm.
work,
Yeah,
like he could talk. You know, he could do regular talk, but he could do jive talk for the Southern folks too. Like he knew how to do everything. And then he gets there, and then they just give him the bird, and then he gets fat, and that's it. He becomes like the black sort of job dude. And like, man, this is not good, man. Like, I don't like that at all. And
Yeah.
to Jacques Rougeau, who the fuck is Jacques Rougeau to be
He's
getting?
the Mountie.
Fuck me. Like, getting the fourth match on a pay per view. To no,
Yeah.
no, I can't. So yeah, yeah. Again, he's black. It's in the '90s. They weren't putting any black dudes over at this point in time. By the way, it's going to come up in the Royal Rumble as well here soon.
Ah,
If you like
yeah.
feet. All right. Anyway, 9 minutes and 12 seconds, man. So yeah, he gets it was a sort of choke slam. Like he came off the rope, but it was kind of botchy too. Like he didn't catch him with the choke slam. He just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, jump up, down, and that's it. 9-12. Whatever. All right. Match number 5, y'all. This is our watch along here. So if you're going through this, fire up your peacock here as I go through the pre-match stuff. It's Ted DiBiase and Virgil versus Dusty Rhodes and God, I almost called
Dustin
him
Rhodes.
Cody and Dustin Rhodes. I almost called him Cody. And R.I.P. Dusty Rhodes. R.I.P. to dignity and responsibility to Ted DiBiase because he should be under a jail for stealing money from people. But anyway, so yeah, Dusty's been feuding with DiBiase for a while now, after really the Sapphire thing. And it's really been going on for like a year,
Mm-hmm.
kind of off and on. Dustin and Dusty, this is their last match in the WWF. As soon as this is over, they are back to WCW. Dusty to
And
become the booker.
and
And
Dustin was only there like he can't have had like half a dozen matches.
yeah, yeah. And he's on to becoming with the natural Dustin
Yeah.
Rose down there, whatever. They have the matching trunks and shoes or whatever.
Yeah, boots.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Like I could tell even back then, I was like, oh, Dustin Rhodes, he's a really good wrestler. But I just didn't care. It's
Yeah.
probably because Dusty was still there. Like I just didn't
Yeah.
get it. But I was a big fan of Goldust, which is weird because it might have been Marlena. Now I think about
Maybe.
it. Yeah, maybe. There was two things I liked about Dustin Rhodes
Uh,
or Goldust.
yeah. No, I hear you. He's so obviously talented, but
Yeah,
it's just never really appealing as
yeah,
Dustin Rhodes
yeah.
in this, at least in this
Yeah,
presentation.
it just didn't work. Like my note on here is that he's so good. It feels like Barry, like Wyndham. It's just so
Hmm.
natural. Like everything just works. Like you can just tell. Like he's just so good at it. But like I didn't care. Like it just didn't do
Right.
anything for me. Like
Right.
all.
He's not obviously not as big as his dad, but he doesn't have like an appreciable physique. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have really a distinctive look other than he looks like his dad.
Yeah,
So he always felt like a knockoff. And and I think that's part of why he spent a lot of those early part of the career trying to distance himself. And
yeah.
then
I mean,
so
he went the entire different way, and God
yeah,
bless him. He should have made a shit ton of money or whatever. He got a wife out of it. I know they view her as the villain now, but
she
like,
definitely was the heel in that show. Did you
but
watch the
I
WWE?
did.
Yeah,
Like,
that was really good. But
yeah,
they made it clear who the villain was in that
yes,
show.
yeah, it's terrible.
And it
Oh,
and they put it all together. So good on them.
yeah. This match is primarily to one, get the Runnels out, and two, set up the dissension between Ted DiBiase and Virgil, which had been building for a while. I
Yeah, I don't
don't know if I
know.
should save this for the end. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I don't know if if they were on the way out at this point, if like it was known or that was gonna develop after this. Like I don't have any idea.
I
Like
think, I mean, again, Wikipedia, this is their last match for sure, but I don't know
sure, yeah.
if it was preordained because they gave him a pretty good spot at the end and they could have beat
Yeah,
him in the powder and they didn't. So
because
maybe it was just, something else, but mm. I'm going to wait till the end to say some of the things I have to say about this. Uh, I mean, you probably know what I'm going to say, but it's as a preview. Look, if you're going to break Virgil off from DiBiase and the way that you're going to do it, then he needs to get his lick back.
mm,
You can't have him break up and do this, but then not put him over, which they didn't. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. Like, you can't. And again, I don't, Virgil as a wrestler, Virgil on the mic, if I know anything, but I do know if you break the freaking heel second off from the main heel, that program usually ends with that babyface, newly babyface, getting over on the heel. It
Wardlow
doesn't
got a
happen.
big victory against MJF.
Correct. Exactly. As a more recent phenomenon. But every single one of them, Kevin Nash beat Shawn Michaels for the title. Okay. When he finally broke off, from being his valet or his bodyguard or whatever. Like,
his valet, you can say it.
he said, yeah. He was. Big
Fluffer.
sexy valet. Exactly. All right. So fire up your Peacock and we're going to, oh man, I can't minimize and zoom here. Hold on. No, so I got to share screen.
Don't even try and share. Like,
I think I can open a different one though.
Because
oh my God. I can't do this from here because I can't minimize. Oh, I freaking hate Zoom too. Let's see. Oh, see, I'm sharing. That's not
Don't
good.
do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do it. Don't do it. Hold on.
Come on, Tony.
I'm gonna watch this on my phone. Hold on, because I forgot about Zoom's ridiculousness. Yeah, every time, man, every freaking time. They're we haven't had a lot of luck with that recently either on my the cartoon thing too. Everything's been taken down. So,
well, Willie and Chopper Bunch trying to get paid. Yeah,
yeah, we're still not 100% sure who cared so much about Willie and the Chopper Bunch.
Somebody's like, "I'm getting that 7-cent check, bitch."
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're going to 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 50 seconds.
You're gonna have to watch like 3 commercials because
no, I'm good. It's all fired up. It's ready. It's all
say
ready.
that.
All right.
Do.
I know. I'm
okay.
ready. I'm fired up. I'm watching on my phone. It's gonna start with a scrum, y'all. Like it's just a big schmoz at the beginning as everybody gets to attacking. All right. So on the 3, 2, 1 count, 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, we're good. Yeah, just a big old beat down.
And DiBiase's got Dusty in the corner. Virgil's got Dustin in the other corner.
Yeah, it's the
camera work shows us absolutely nothing going on.
Yeah.
Double elbows.
Yeah. Again, if they knew they were leaving here, they let these dudes get a big shine. But I guess back in the day, people didn't know this. So, you have to make them at least assume, that they were going to do something and you didn't know they were leaving. I mean, we've watched plenty of matches that we didn't know people were going to leave at the time. And they're like, oh shit, he got beat. Oh, well. So the underlying thing of this is DiBiase berating Virgil continually during this match.
They had the backstage earlier where he's like, Virgil will take any abuse that is heaped on him from me that I tell him to. Yeah. So this is more like slave narrative.
Yes, and it was. I mean, and I was waiting the entire time. I was like, "We're gonna get a boy in here soon," but they didn't. So I'll give them the bars, the floor, the level of credit there. And they were never gonna put over any black wrestler at this time in the WWE. Sorry, man. It's just not what they were gonna do.
It's funny. We're not too far from Ron Simmons winning the title. We still have yet to see a black person win at WrestleMania. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe Junkyard Dog might have got to win.
Doubt it. And he's in WWE or WCW now himself, so not doing great over there either. I mean, this is awkward. Yeah, don't smack him in my face.
Slapped him. Yeah, you can't do that. Come on.
Yeah.
I bought dinner. Is what he's saying. I fed you. At least he didn't say what he bought him for dinner because then I think we know what would have been on the menu.
Lord. Yeah. You have to make maybe DiBiase had some sense to not do that. He worked in Mid-South. He worked in Louisiana. Like he should probably know better to not do that. I mean, again, it's cheap heat, but like maybe in this large company here, somebody thought better of it. Thank goodness. But again, this is also the same company that had the freaking dudes in blackface. So years later. So it's not like it was now. So, and Vince out there saying my nigga with the do rag on. So yeah. Dusty and
I
Dusty.
remember Virgil being way worse than he actually is here.
Oh, like
Like,
as a wrestler?
yeah, like I didn't watch this and come away thinking, wow, Virgil had no right to be in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Later, I think I would have developed that opinion, but
Yeah. Because when he gets to WCW and his role there, he's a wrestler more so than he is the valet there.
yeah,
Because DiBiase always joins the NWO, but then he never did anything because I don't think he could
right,
wrestle anymore. And then he really wasn't there that often to begin
yeah.
with. So
And
him,
Virgil is the irony is Virgil. So Virgil was the name to make fun of Dusty, who was the
yeah,
booker at the time, who's now
hmm
there. So
yeah,
I
the
feel like I
irony.
could watch DiBiase and Dustin wrestle for a
Oh
long
yeah, that'd
time.
be a while. Yeah, yeah, and again, DiBiase, like we've seen since we started this too, just been literally carrying the heel division here
Yeah,
because he can wrestle with anybody and everybody, and
yeah.
did and made everybody still look good. Oh, that's a great coastline. Yeah,
This is like the two poster people for like size without a body.
yeah,
Dustin and
yeah.
DiBiase.
Look at those punches though
Yeah,
from DBI. I mean, they look so real.
we're gonna get, I think, here shortly to the part that I think ruins this match.
Mm,
And
fat chops.
the knee injury that they have
Hmm.
to. Yeah. I
Oh,
assume that was worked, but
mm, yeah,
maybe he did get hurt. I don't know, but that to me ruins this match.
yeah,
The
yeah.
falling punch is great.
Oh yeah,
Super
I
good.
agree. Yep. He has. There's not one move that DiBiase can't do. I'm sorry, he's just that good. No, not this. I love that spot. Whenever I see it,
His
it's
selling
always
is great
exciting.
too.
Yep, dude is amazing. God, if he had only gone to WCW after the UWF merger,
Oh yeah.
that would have been so great. Oh yeah,
But I mean, God, they completely remade him. Like
yeah,
he is, I mean, like the biggest part of his career is $1 million man. Oh boy,
yeah,
here we go.
yeah. I think I said on the last pay per view it was like awkward to see Dusty because he's so. I mean, he was always fat, but he's much fatter
He's
here.
yes, he's large and
Yes,
but not in charge.
no, and like it's just uncomfortable to watch. It's like it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know. Here we go. Oh, sleeper.
Oh boy. That's the
Remember that?
Weaver lock to you, sir.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just about to say, you remember bringing that up when he was feuding with Luger for the U.S. title, and he put him in the locker room and put him out. That was great. Oh, see, look at that punch, man. Drop kick. Nice. There you go, Virgil. Crowd's more into this than it looks like, which makes me think that they might be pumping to some of the noise in here.
Could be. But they
Because
do
people are
love them
sitting
some
on their,
Dusty though.
yeah, they do. But people sitting on their hands. But also, as I learned last night, I went to a concert last night. See Nas and the Wu-Tang Clan. So uh, it's a different podcast, but people that really love the Wu-Tang Clan is like people that really love the Beastie Boys,
Mm.
and they look the same in terms of color. And on the floor, it was pretty much all of that,
Mm.
like all of that. But I was in the rafters, and that was all of my people. So
Mm.
yeah, so maybe these people on the floor like, we're just here, we don't really cheer that much, and this all this noise is coming from up top.
Well,
Oh yeah,
that's the WWF, right? This
yeah,
is we're on the floor for the spectacle. We're not
mm-hmm.
actually fans of this. We
Yeah, we're
just
just
go,
here for it's an event,
yeah.
right?
So yeah, so here we are. This is the Dustins now nurses the legitimate knee injury through the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the match, which to me is like, man,
Mm.
I'd rather see him just have a match.
Yeah, Virgil's not great.
He isn't. He's not great, but I remember him being really truly awful, and that's
Yeah,
not the case here.
he can bump.
Mm-hmm.
He's so used to getting his ass kicked continually. Mm-mm. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I just and again, he's alive now and crazy apparently on Twitter.
Mm.
So there's that. Dustin used to make AEW appearances, and I guess he runs or partially runs what the Nightmare
The Nightmare
Factory or
Factory.
whatever, their training facility, or even if he does anymore since his brother went up. I mean,
I
I've
think
seen.
he has said like, I don't know when he said it, but I think he said this is like his last year or whatever.
Okay,
I mean, he's still. They could have done like a last ride angle with him if they really wanted to.
yeah, thank.
But I think he's been hurt a lot too. Like I think he's good for a match every couple months.
He's got to be our age,
Probably
if not a little bit older. So, like, I know I couldn't go out and wrestle a
69.
match.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I know I couldn't go out
84.
and wrestle a match right now. Oh yeah, Miss Sput. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
Dang it.
Dang it! Oh
He should have
shucks.
stopped like apologizing and then gone.
Yeah,
Just go hit Dustin.
yeah. My bad. This is not good. Mm,
He bought you dinner.
mm,
It's not your date.
yeah,
What? This is stupid.
this is bad. Yeah. No, this match ends
Oh,
so quick and so so quick and awkward. That's- Oh, Stinger splash. Nice.
if Stinger never left the ground.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3. They didn't pull tight. Clean win.
Dusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel certain that they knew Dusty was gone at that
Yeah.
point. They're like,
All
we
right.
want you
So
to put him out with $1 million dream. He's like, can I just roll him up? You
yeah,
know, me and
exactly.
Dusty go way back. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah, embarrassing
like
here.
I'll $1 million dream Virgil. That's fine.
Mm.
But I don't know if I want to do that to Dusty.
Hey, okay. So all right, since we're not watching this with everybody, I'm gonna pause, stop here. Okay,
Good.
so at the end of this match, uh Ted DiBiase proceeds to tell Virgil to come into the ring and put the belt on him and berate him. Again, minor credit for not calling him boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he, I mean, it was everything but, say, fetch my belt. He didn't say it there. I mean, again, like he could have coded languaged it and like it would have been worse, but it was like, go get it and put it on me, and everybody's got a price and, and all of these types of things. Remember your mother, and all of this. But the Virgil's reaction doesn't, like it was not, he hit like a trigger point or whatever. Like, you talk about my mama, like that's going to get it. He just kind of takes it all. And then without ever saying anything back, he fires up and hits him or whatever and then walks out. Again, it's an angle that's been done 1,000 times in wrestling. Like that's not even the issue. Even the race part of it is not necessarily the issue. It's that as far as we know and understand, and I'm assuming we'll see version of this maybe, Virgil never gets to get back over on top of the heel. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's,
I don't think he ever wins the $1 million belt.
no, I mean, from a non-racial version or whatever, it's like what was wrong with the NWO. Like they kicked everybody's ass and then they never let the baby faces get over.
Mm.
Well, then everybody's chumps at that point. Like eventually, I know modern wrestling forgets this all the time. The good guys at some point need to win. They can get
Oh,
fucked.
Virgil did win the $1 million belt.
He did
He
what
did.
at a pay per view?
SummerSlam 91. We're gonna
Oh,
see
we're
it.
gonna get there, and he beats him clean. Well, I
Uh
apologize for my rant that I
yeah.
never watched it. I never watched enough WWE. So good, we get a chance to see that. I'm happy. So good for
He
Virgil
holds it for almost 45 days.
and loses it back to DiBiase.
Oh no, 77 days. Oh
And
yeah.
loses
Yeah.
it back to DiBiase
Yeah.
as if it was a legitimate belt.
Yeah.
So we get to hear Virgil do promos.
I wouldn't say that, but
I'm surprised they didn't give him a manager. Okay, good. I'm happy for that then. I'm sorry that I didn't go
Yeah,
back and look to see.
SummerSlam, stand by for Virgil's triumph.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be our watch along. Finally, a black person wins something on fucking WWF. Speaking of which, so as we get ready for the Royal Rumble, there's just a bunch of people talking about what they're going to do in the Royal Rumble, essentially. And
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not. It's not on pay per view.
no, wait,
It's
where's
part of
that?
the Survivor Series showdown leading up to
Ah,
the
there you
Survivor
go.
Series.
You see, there's always a hook. All right. So yeah, so it's just people talking about what they were going to do. Piper's going nuts about this and the little pre version of this. And so we're gonna get to the Royal Rumble. Remember, it's 30 participants, two to start, and then somebody every 2 minutes. What we've done in the past is that we've talked about like who eliminates who and at what point, because again, to watch it would be interminable. And we don't go there, and then we'll talk about maybe certain spots or whatever, certain people. But to start, we get Bret Hart versus Dino Bravo. Um, and it's two wrestlers, and then when it's only two people, they just go out and have a whole freaking
Yeah.
wrestling match, like that's it. And then number three is Greg Valentine, who comes in after the first 2 minutes, and then Greg Valentine's a babyface at this point, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
mean, this would be the tail end of Rhythm and Blues. I don't know who he was even
God,
feuding with.
yeah,
I don't
Dino
know.
Bravo apparently, because he's
Yeah.
the first elimination is Dino Bravo, and he's eliminated by the Hammer. So,
Mhm.
yeah, and then what you had talked about before we recorded, or maybe once we started, then there's a lot of people just pretending to get thrown out. Like there's the
Yeah.
longest spot forever with Brett standing on the ropes with Bret or with Greg Valentine trying to eliminate him, where he's just laying there. And if you like that, you're gonna get to see a lot of it. Fourth is our boy Paul Roma. Okay, I got a bit. Okay, he's way better than I remember. Like
Yeah.
he's short king for sure, but he's ripped to be damn. Him being in a tag team with Hercules makes all the sense in the world, even though neither one
Yeah.
of them could talk, and so they needed a mouthpiece. But as a wrestler, his
Yeah.
appearance and all of that, I mean, he would dominate AEW right now. He would be the
Yeah.
champion.
And yeah, because he's primarily known as the worst horseman ever.
Yeah, Steve
um,
McMichael is
and
there.
it was probably a mistake to put him in horseman, but Power and Glory is great. Their finisher's awesome.
Awesome.
They look great. He would have been perfectly fine. He would have been just as good as any of the other like mid to upper Carters in the WCW. Could have had a perfectly fine career, but they
Yeah.
sort of put him. They put that label on him, and
Yep.
that was never a fit. Yeah.
He could have done the
Yes.
Pillman role as a
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
heel Pillman role. That would have worked.
Mm,
And yeah, it just no, not good. So so yeah, Paul Roman's coming in. He's going to be eliminated third by Jake the Snake Roberts, who is still a babyface in here and who sucks completely.
terrible
Still
babyface.
just terrible babyface. And I told you I don't get it anymore. I mean, yeah, DDT's great. And all his promos are so good, but like again, maybe it's because he's cutting babyface promos, but in 1991, Jake Roberts terrible. Which crazy enough, he's still going to get a couple of prime runs in both of these companies here
Mm,
over the next like 6 years. And people forget like he's the one that wound up getting Steve Austin a first over there when that Austin
mm,
316 is about Jake Roberts.
yep.
So yeah, all right. Number five, RIP, the Texas Tornado. Kerry Von Erich to everybody else. He's going to wind up getting eliminated seventh by the Undertaker, who's going to come in here in a little bit. So Kerry Von Erich, again, I think I said this on the other podcast. He's really just the Ultimate Warrior with a couple of more moves.
Pretty much. I like a smoother Ultimate Warrior
Yep. Like, and then
who
they don't let
you
him
can
talk.
like understand what he's
Mm-hmm.
saying, but like
Mm-hmm.
his promos suck because he's very clearly just performing them.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They're the same. I mean, they're the same dude. I mean, if you
right,
put the face paint on Kerry Von Erich, it'd be
right.
hard to tell them apart. To be
And
fair.
I knew I because World Class was on, like I knew the Dingo Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't remember what he was doing relative to Kerry Von Erich at the time in WCW, but you're right, they are very similar.
Yeah. I mean, they look similar. They talk. I mean, it's really, really wild. So that's fifth. He gets eliminated by the Warrior. Number
Fifth.
six. Number 6 is the Iron Man himself, Rick
Yeah.
Martel, who's in this
Oy
bitch for
vey.
like 45 minutes. Like,
52-17,
oh, sorry,
sir.
thank you. Yeesh. I mean, Rick Martel is in there forever. Um, and he gets wind up eliminated by the British Bulldog later on, which I have something
Yeah.
to say about too. But yeah, Rick
Yeah.
Martel,
So they throw him like he's dangling for a long time and he'll
yeah,
get
on
like
top of the
the
ropes.
double knockout but roll back in under the ropes or whatever. Yeah. He's like he's Buddy Roberts in this
They
essentially.
really believed in Rick Martel to the point of we're never gonna put a belt on you, but he's
Right.
always in a decent heel position,
Yeah. I mean,
and he got a good run here too.
he's essentially been put over to some degree in everything we've seen because I mean like he doesn't win obviously because you can't,
Mm.
but he gets his 52 minutes here,
Yeah, I mean that would be something to build upon or whatever, but he still has a terrible gimmick. He's the
Yeah.
model with that fucking Acme size thing,
Yeah. That is some Wile
dispenser.
Coyote shit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that never gonna help. Entering seventh. Okay, so I said if you like feet, Samba Simba, which is Tony Atlas to regular folks. Just an absolute awful racist African gimmick that they gave Tony Atlas. He's wrestling with no shoes on, which is generally not a good thing either. Um, man, it's Tony Atlas. Look, black wrestler, WWF. Nothing's good's going to come of that. But and I know again, people make fun of you now because it's his feet fetish or whatever. But dude was a really good wrestler at the
Yeah.
time. He was huge. He could he cut a country ass black promo or whatever. But like him and Butch Reed like are like legitimate wrestlers that you could have done things with, but they wind up here and just get, I think we're a couple of weeks away from
Yeah.
or the natural. Is that coming soon
You
too?
pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he would be on like the WCW Superstar show or whatever. Like, and it would like, why isn't like he's as big as Hogan? Kind of like,
Yes.
why does he not like? Why does he always lose?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we know now.
And
Yeah.
and the second out of the ring.
Yeah. Tony the Feet Atlas is my
When I
note here.
wasn't paying attention when I watched this, and I was like, "Oh, did they put him out first?" Oh no, Dino
Yeah.
Bravo went
No,
out.
only
Okay,
second.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
eliminated
okay.
by Rick Martel, of course, because he's in there. Number 8 is what's this? Bill, who's that?
Bushwhacker Butch.
Bushwhacker Butch. Sorry. Yeah, eliminated by the Undertaker. That's all that needs to be
So he
said.
gets a little bit of run, unlike
Yeah.
his tag team partner later.
Yeah, comes in and gets out. Jake Roberts eliminated eventually by Rick Martel at number
Yeah.
9. Yeah, we talked about it.
So Jake comes in and gets the next elimination, which is Paul Roma.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
yeah, that's right. Uh, Hercules Hernandez is in at 10th. Oh, he gets eliminated later on, 18th by Brian Knobs. And now, if you read Wikipedia, that Sags had a dark match
yeah,
um on the pay-per-view or whatever. So I'm not quite sure why they weren't together. And then we just saw them in the WCW pay-per-view that was 3 months prior. So you know, they were feuding with the Steiners there, and then they're out now. They're here as the Nasty Boys. I'm assuming this is where they hook up with Hogan, and this long love affair with
yeah.
the Nasty Boys like continues
But
until
primarily with Brian
2000.
Knobs, not Jerry Sags, I think.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, Hercules comes in for an extended run, but I think he spends 90% of that time like pulling on the top rope or whatever.
Number 11, our boy Arriba Tito Santana. He gets eliminated by Earthquake, the 10th
Also
elimination.
another run, 30
Yeah.
minutes. He gets 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes in the ring
Look,
because he
man,
can work.
again, it was like a bit now. We love Tito Santana.
I don't think we ever admitted to each other how much we
Yeah,
all loved Tito
exactly.
Santana
Yeah,
before this.
again, as I
Shit, you
said, I'm
love
like,
Tito Santana? I love
yeah,
Tito Santana.
man,
Speaking
again.
of people like, why doesn't he win more?
Well,
Golly.
it's a similar situation.
Yeah.
Same verse,
He has the same
same as
kind
the
of
first.
affliction.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, again, like Tito. I mean, shoot, if black people ain't winning, cheer for the Mexican dude, man, because what's going on? And then it's the same thing. You just like, damn, man, he really has every single move. He could do everything. Why is he not winning? Oh, we know why. Anyway, which is again, it's so weird when you see WWF history. They made their bones on ethnic champions,
Mm.
and then they whitewashed that shit forever after that.
Mm.
They were like, nah, son, we're good. No more you coloreds. All right. So, number 12, the Undertaker comes in and he's
And
fisting fire, y'all.
this is
Like
weird because like they haven't like he's such a transformation from uh
Mean
what was
Mark,
he? Mean
Mean
Mark
Mark.
Callis, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
But he's not a monster. He's kind of a monster, but not really a monster.
Yeah,
So he gets a couple eliminations pretty quick, but then kind of settles into hugging the top rope.
yeah. And his debut, remember, like he came in and was destroying folks, and
Mm,
everybody was like, "What in the world? Who is this? It's crazy." But yeah, now it's a little bit more subdued. And then the supernatural stuff, I don't know when that comes in, but yeah, I don't know if we've ever had this conversation. The Undertaker, like that version, I don't get it. Like I never like I understood the gimmick, but I didn't really like care enough about the gimmick to, like I liked Paul Bearer more like his
yeah.
weird promos than I did
Oh,
the wrestler. Yeah, exactly.
my Undertaker.
So I
Live
love that.
room.
But I didn't get the Undertaker part itself. And then when I
Yeah.
started watching wrestling again, he was still that. Then he became the American badass. And I was like, I don't like this at
He
all.
became the American Trump supporter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he Kid Rock on a motorcycle. All right. So he gets 3 eliminations, I think, as the note says. Number
Yeah.
13, still
He
holding on. Go ahead.
he eliminates Bret Hart, Bushwhacker Butch,
Mm,
and the Texas Tornado.
nice. Uh, Coming in at 13, a true American murderer, Jimmy Snooker. Talk about the mighty fallen, man. Like
Yeah.
since we've been watching these, it's like, golly, man, give up the goat, sir. It's
Yeah.
time. Just like this. This is proof positive that wrestlers have no discernible skills outside of wrestling at this point
Yeah.
in time in life. Like, because I mean, again, I'm sure he was like, what the hell else am I gonna do
Right.
that could
Yeah.
earn me the money that what I was doing? Because
There's
what are
no
you gonna
one left
do?
for me to murder. So what
Yeah,
else am I gonna do?
exactly. I mean, what? Snooker gonna go work a regular ass job?
No. And
Exactly.
he was CTE'd and cocained out by
Oh
this
yeah,
point
for sure.
already.
Yeah,
So
there was no like, oh yeah, I seen Jimmy Snooker working at the Walmart distribution center. Like, what?
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Number 14, it's the British Bulldog, y'all. He winds up getting eliminated 27th. By what's it?
Earthquake
Earthquake
and
and
Brian Knobs.
yeah, and Knobs. Uh, this version of Bulldog, perfect size. He doesn't stop there though.
He starts growing from here.
Yes, he turned on it. He
This
put
is
the
before
Bane
his
mask
growth
on.
spurt.
Yeah, he put the Bane mask on or the juice that Bane uses and just starts to
He's
blow
got a
up
little
completely.
hose that plugs into the back
Oh
of
my
his neck.
god.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? He was big when they were the British Bulldogs. Like, oh, that's fine. And then he got like this big. I was like, oh, that's it, man. You don't need any more juice. Nah, son.
And
I need
and
all the
and he
juice.
and he comment on the braids.
No. Let's leave it at
Okay.
that.
Next. Yeah.
Yeah, let's leave the cultural appropriation where it belongs. I just I I love David Boy Smith. Like I really do. His power
Yeah.
slams, his clotheslines, like all of that was so good.
The press slams too.
Yeah, it's just but
And
man, oh man.
the stall vertical suplex.
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
hold him forever. But it's so funny because now you know you again don't watch wrestling that much, but even if you watched it in the Nitro era, we don't really have like people that were like popular and young then is just like died like all of a sudden and shit.
Mm.
Like people from a previous era that may have been on Nitro, but like that group, like it's like, nobody ever talks like, oh, it was the pain kills and all pain pills and all that. I'm like nobody talks about them freaking horse hormones in your body because I assure you that's not great for you over time.
Well, and then what? He hurt his back on a botch trap door, and then
Yeah.
drugged himself out and died.
Yep. Yeah, that's bad too. But
Yeah,
still, like he wasn't gonna be with us long, pumping that shit into his body.
no.
Like that's just not good. Like overall. Anyway, all right. Number 15 is Smash. He's eliminated 14th by Hogan. He sucks. Demolition sucks. We've been very clear on that. Any version, all three of them, one, two, three, it doesn't matter. They suck. Oh, it's Road Warrior Hawk coming in at 16. He's eliminated 11th by Martel and Hercules
He gets the
Hernandez.
6 minute run.
Yeah, but he gets an elimination. They him and Animal eliminate the Undertaker, I believe.
They let's see.
I think they
So
double
he put
clothesline the
Snuka
Undertaker.
out.
He put Snuka out. Okay. I thought
Uh,
him and Animal got the Undertaker back.
Yep. They also put out the
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Okay. So I mean, this is them being there. Well, we've seen them in the last pay per view as well, but now they're on this little run in WWF. But I don't think they're there that long either before they're off to Japan. I mean, it's a small-ish run. They do get through WrestleMania for sure. Number
Mm.
17 is Shane Douglas before they gimmicked him up with, I do believe it was not the poet, he's
The Dean,
the Dean, yes,
Dean
before
Douglas.
they gimmicked him up. You know, he most last recently to us as a part of the Dudes with Attitudes, Dudes Suck Dick. And um he doesn't make any sense here. He's the quintessential Southern wrestler. Like he's tiny,
Yeah,
he has a body, but he's too small. He sounds too Southern. Like it just, even though he's from Pittsburgh, but it
he's
just doesn't work.
very generic. He's the
Yes.
most generic person, and he gets like a 20-minute run or something like
Yeah,
that.
which is surprising.
26.
Yep.
Yeah,
Eliminated by Knobs as well. Number 18, Randy Savage never makes it into the ring
that was
because
weird. I was like, did
yeah,
they screw something up? But then I was like,
yeah,
oh, they reveal later it's Macho
yeah,
Man. I'm like, okay, that's an angle.
yeah,
Whatever.
it's bad. 19 is Road Warrior Animal. He gets eliminated 12th by Earthquake.
Also, 6 minutes in the ring.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, long can you hold those dudes out there?
Yeah,
Um, I think he gets eliminated by the clothesline in the back and
yeah,
shot
yeah,
puts himself over the top rope. That's a popular one
yeah.
too. But yeah. Number 20, Crush, eliminated 19th by Hogan. I think Hogan had 6 eliminations in this, something like that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds right.
awful.
7.
Jesus.
7.
Yep. 21, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, eliminated 13th by Mr. Perfect.
4 minutes in the ring.
Yeah, again, another huge dude to get him out. 27 is Earthquake. He's going to be eliminated
Wait,
last. What?
wait. You
Who
went
done
from
it?
21 to 22.
Yeah.
Oh, you said 27, but you're right.
Oh, I'm sorry,
22 is
22. My
Earthquake.
handwriting's terrible. Yeah, 22 is Earthquake, eliminated 27th by Hogan, or 29th, right? He was
Yeah.
the
So
last
yeah.
one in the
So
ring.
he and Brian Knobs end up being the end.
Yeah. Okay. 23 is Mr.
And
Perfect.
again, Earthquake,
Yes. Again. Yeah.
great big
No.
man,
Oh, yeah.
great big
Absolutely.
man.
Yes. His finisher is great until Hogan shakes it off. Um, Perfect is eliminated by 23rd by Bulldog. Again,
Mhm.
Bulldog, just great. Two great wrestlers. Hogan gets in at 24, so he doesn't have to be in the ring that long. What's the timestamp on him entering? You have that?
21, 21.
21. And then how long does this go?
I think it was an hour and 5.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
came in 2/3 the way through.
okay. So, yeah, Hogan comes in. Yeah, 7 eliminations. 25 is Haku. He's also eliminated by the Bulldog. The 25th elimination. 26, Jim Neidhart, eliminated by Rick Martel. The 24th. Yes, Bushwhacker Luke.
Comes
Is
in and goes out.
yeah, 17th, but yeah, 4 seconds.
Credited with 4 seconds in the ring. Yeah.
Yes, that's terrible.
That's like a Warlord did that, I think, one
Mm,
year. He got up on the ring, posed, and got knocked out by, I think,
yes.
Hogan. But yeah.
And I think, and now again, like if you watch, what's that, Kofi Kingston or whatever, he had this thing where he would do some special thing to not land on the floor. They'd knock him
Hmm.
off and he'd do some
Yeah.
sort of flip, land in a chair, land on the ring fence or whatever, and then do that. And then he botched it like the last 2 years and they stopped
Yeah.
doing it. It was like, oops, okay, we were probably pressing your luck with that to begin with. 28, was that Brian Knobs, eliminated by
Yeah.
Earthquake. 28th, like, yeah,
And I think that was accidental, if I
yes,
recall.
like a oops.
And then the
29,
Warlord
yeah, he's the Warlord. He's 20th elimination by Hogan, of course. Again,
is in
Stone
the ring
Cold
for a minute.
Warlord. Yep,
Yeah.
Stone Cold Warlord. Is he still wearing the freaking Phantom of the Opera thing when he came in
Yeah,
the
I think
ring?
he does that. He has that. And I think he has like some sort of scepter. I don't even know what. I don't know
Jesus.
what.
Yeah, whatever. Number 30 is Tugboat. He's eliminated 22nd
His boy.
by his own friend. It's
Yeah.
up be your own
This
people,
would
man.
this would set the stage for the natural disasters.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God, because he does turn on Hogan too, huh?
Typhoon. Yep.
Oh, geez. He's RIP too. So if you start to look through this, Carton from 30 there, 30 dead, 27. Which Bushwhacker just died?
I don't.
One of them. Let's call it not Luke. Neidhart dead. Haku's alive. Hogan,
Yeah, I want to
unfortunately.
say it was Butch.
Yeah. Perfect dead. Earthquake
Yes,
dead.
he did die.
Animal dead. Savage dead. Hawk dead. Smash, I think, is dead.
Yeah.
Bulldog dead. Snooker
Oh no, I
dead.
think Smash is alive. I think
Which one? Yeah.
Crush is dead.
Crush is dead. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Snooker
Smash
dead.
is that's Crusher Khrushchev.
Is it? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because the other one was the Hawaiian dude that became a member of Demolition, right?
Yeah,
Crush.
Crush is the Hawaiian dude.
Yeah, okay, he's dead. Uh, Tito, Hercules Smackers
Bravo dead.
dead. Yep, Bravo dead.
Tornado dead.
Tornado dead.
Macho dead.
Yeah, I mean,
Hawk, Animal,
yeah. Well, you
Smash.
probably of the 30, you probably almost half of them are dead.
Yeah,
That's not great. Not a great
no.
percentage. Yeah, not at all. So anyway, the last two in the ring, it's Hulk Hogan, Natch versus Earthquake. And we just saw this match.
Pretty much.
Like we just saw this match on the last pay-per-view. Where Hogan gets his ass beat for a while. I mean, tell me if you ever heard this one before. Um Hogan gets his ass beat. He hulks out. He I don't think he actually kicks out of his finisher, even though he takes it. Like he
I
doesn't
thought he
kick out.
came, I thought he popped right up.
In the last one, he did for sure.
Yeah,
But
I
I didn't
think
think he did here, but it would make sense if he did. It's hard to remember because they all look exactly alike.
yeah.
But he definitely does the whole thing like fighting up from. He doesn't kick out. He gives it to him and he gets on his knees and he starts the shaking.
Yeah.
And then he starts
Yeah.
the punching and the getting up and then the finger wag or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he
You've
goes
seen
into
it.
his thing and he eliminates him. And then Hogan wins. Remind
And
me if you've heard that one.
they had told us before that if Hogan won, they said Hogan had found out that Slaughter was burning a flag, and
Mm,
as a result, if he won,
if
he was going to dedicate this to the troops overseas.
of course
So
he would.
so yeah, when this I slogged through the first part of this, and then it came to the thing,
Mm.
came to the Rumble. I was like, I can't.
I got to that part. It's fine enough. It's rough though. Don't get me wrong. It is hard to watch those freaking matches because again, I hate battle royals, and then I hate Hogan.
Yeah,
Like I mean, that's probably the biggest thing of it. Like if I cared about Hulk Hogan, and again, we must remind ourselves and everybody else every time we say how much we hate him, people are going nuts while this shit is happening. The people
hmm,
on the floor, they are very happy that Hulk Hogan won
yeah,
this shit.
yeah.
Like, and it's so funny that at some point we're gonna see like where people are just like, I'm so sick of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah,
like,
because they came here for this. This is the
yes,
one thing they
exactly.
were hoping to see.
But I mean, again, in a 3-year wrestling window, that's like 10 years. But in like a 3-year window, these people are gonna be like, man, I'm tired of this,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be
Well,
forced to leave.
here they're trying to this is the cusp of we got to go back to the real American. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, people had enough of this. We got to go to the Warrior. Oh, the
Yeah.
Warrior sucks.
Mm-hmm.
How's the real American sound to you? Yeah.
Right.
So,
And you have to wonder too, if there is no Gulf War,
hmm,
does that happen when it happens? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
circumstances of the real American that you had, the war that's happening. Do you make that switch because they know that they could sell and Hogan could, go on shows and do everything and wearing all this American stuff and they could put him in front of everything and everybody, whereas there was no way they could put the Warrior on the Tonight Show
right.
and make it like not be an absolute shit show.
Talk about some destrucity.
Fuck. God, the Warrior sucks. God, I don't mind. Anyway, so yeah, y'all, that's the end of freaking Royal Rumble 91. It's setting up this WrestleMania match that comes up. That's the next pay-per-view for them, right? It's
Uh,
WrestleMania. I think so. Because they're only quarterly on these things, so
yeah.
WrestleMania should be in March. All right, run that card down for us. WrestleMania
Uh,
1991, which would be WrestleMania what? 7? 8?
Eight, I think. Seven.
7. Okay. WrestleMania
All
7.
right. WrestleMania 7.
Do we have our jingoism match? 2, do we
Well,
have
it's Slaughter and Hogan.
that's jingoism? And 2,
The
do we have
the
our black guy beatdown match? Let's go.
the Rockers
Mhm.
versus
Orient Express.
the powers of pain that would be. but
That
we know them as the Barbarian and Hawk
yeah,
Hogan.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Dino Bravo and Texas Tornado,
Mm,
the Warlord and British Bulldog,
mm.
the Nasty Boys and the Hart Foundation.
That could be a watch along. How long is that?
12-10.
That works.
This is the blow off of the Jake Roberts Rick Martel feud in a blindfold match.
Uh, Vince at his
Uh,
worst. Mm.
Jimmy Snuka and The Undertaker.
Black guy gets beat down match. There it is.
Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Genichiro Tenryu versus Koji Katao. Or
Oh,
no, those two versus Demolition. Why?
jingoism match. Yep.
Not sure
Yep.
exactly.
I assure
But
you, no Japanese people are winning that match, but sure.
Big Boss Man and Mr. Perfect.
Mm. That could be. How long is
Oh,
that? That sounds like a good match. How long?
1046.
That could be the backup there.
Earthquake and Greg Valentine.
Mm, that's not great.
The Legion of Doom and Power and Glory.
That could be good too.
It's
That can't be
59
selling for
seconds.
Paul Roma because
It's
he's
59 seconds. So
okay.
yeah, we can do
So
that. We can do that
yeah,
watch along.
okay. So now obviously then maybe this is Paul Roma when we get to the next where the WCW one is. I think maybe Paul Roma's on his way out or Hercules and them are must be on their way out because that's a beat down. So okay,
Virgil and DiBiase.
black guy beat down match. Which is this it, but he doesn't win here obviously because you told me it's on a Survivor
Mm-hmm.
Series thing. Wasn't that till summer? Okay.
The Mountie. Oh, oh my God, the Mountie and Tito Santana. 121. He took out spoiler alert. Tito does not win. He took 9 minutes to beat Coco, and he gets 121 over Santana. They're like, oh shit, we're running out of time. You got to go do this
Oh, there.
job in a minute
Hey, look,
21
I'm
seconds.
sorry, man. Hogan has to pose for 10 minutes, so cut your
That's
match.
right.
Yep.
That's right. And then Hogan and Slaughter.
Well, how long is that?
20
12.
minutes.
12. I was gonna say 18 at first, but yeah.
20
There's some
minutes.
bear hugs in that, I assure you. And
Oh,
some
and then
solid
Coco actually wins a dark match.
against a darkie.
A dark match. Sorry. Versus the Brooklyn Brawler.
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't
that'd be the only
realize
way.
I didn't realize the joke there for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, that's fine. Uh Crap.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
that's
different kind of dark match than they
yeah,
normally
exactly.
have.
Well, I just figured they would have had him wrestling a black guy is the only reason that he won.
Oh
So
yeah,
out of
no.
here.
They're
Brooklyn
like, well,
Brawlers.
one of
But
you has
also
to win.
Brooklyn Brawler is also a freaking jobber. But anyway,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so that's that. But our next bout up would be the WCW pay per view
Oh yeah.
offering, which would be what's
WCW.
that bunkhouse? Not bunkhouse stampede.
Wrestle
uh,
Wars February.
that's it.
And then yeah, Starcade was before.
All
All right.
right,
So
so
the
Wrestle War '91.
Ricky Morton, Tommy Rich, and Junkyard Dog versus Big Cat and the State Patrol.
I can't even write that down. So Ricky Morton and them have not. Wait, is big? Is this that no? Because Junkyard Dog's in it, so that's not the York
Yeah, that's
Foundation.
not the York Foundation
Okay,
yet. No,
all right.
this is Tommy Rich filling in for Robert
For Robert
Gibson.
Gibson with
Bobby Eaton
Junkyard
and
Dog.
Brad Armstrong. We might have to watch that match.
Yeah, that's was technical.
Itsuki
Excellent.
Yamazaki and Mami Kitamura versus Miki Honda and Miss A. That's a late. I think
That's a
that's
ladies
a
tag, man.
ladies tag to Japanese tag team.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that
Dustin
one.
Rhodes and Buddy Landell, your boys, the Young Pistols versus the royal family of Jack Victor and Rip Morgan.
Nope.
Terrence
Terrible.
Taylor, now aligned with Alexander York,
Mm.
versus the Z-Man.
Mm.
Big Van Vader versus Stan Hansen. That's got to be trash.
Slobber knocker.
6-minute double DQ.
Mm.
Lex Luger and Dan Spivey.
Nope. That better be a 6-minute freaking squash too.
Nope.
20 minutes.
Doom versus the Fabulous Freebirds.
The Fabulous Freebirds continue to cash checks unnecessarily.
You don't want to
yeah, I'm sure. Well, again, hold up though. So we run the WWF for this shit. jingoism match, beat down the black guy match. WCW ain't that much better. Okay, the jingoism
Yeah.
is not as
Yep.
overt, but beat the black dudes is okay.
And then the War Games is the final. Four Horsemen: Ric Flair,
What?
Barry Windham, Sid Vicious,
Mm,
and Larry Zbyszko with Arn Anderson. So I'm not sure who's actually a horseman. Arn
okay,
must have been hurt.
yeah.
Versus Sting, Brian
Ting.
Pillman, and the Steiner brothers.
As I watch a part, like not to watch along, I would not hate watching that. I mean, you got a bunch of good people in there. I hate Zabisco though as a
War
wrestler.
Games is garbage though.
It is, yeah. It was one
It's
time
it's
it
a
worked.
it's a battle royal where nobody gets eliminated till the end.
Yeah, I mean, but if people are really going for it and they're getting juice and all that, I could
Yeah.
live with it. But if it's
We
just,
might. I think we watched the RIP Bobby Eaton, Brad Armstrong
yeah,
thing.
that's fine. Okay, so Bobby Eaton, Brad Armstrong. I forgot they're both dead too. Damn. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's it, y'all. As a pay-per-view goes, this Survivor Series is trash.
Horrible. It was
It's just ass.
trash.
It's trash.
It
It's
was it
absolutely
was
trash.
one of the worst.
Yeah, there's
And
not what.
and it was just bad because it was so long and so pointless and so boring, and
Yep.
it just ended the way they all end.
Yep. It's just. I mean, there's not. I mean, again, we watched a 10-minute match, and it was the best of the bunch of them, and it wasn't great to begin with either. It was just a match, and there's nothing that any of us this that couldn't have been on free television. To be honest with you, there's nothing special about any of those matches. And the Royal Rumble is again, if you like battle royals, I guess you'd be into it. But again, it's people are more interested in who's coming out, not necessarily who's in the ring. So, all right, so we'll be back for Wrestle War, and these Wrestle Wars never work out for us either because that card you just told me is pretty awful too, and they got some names on it, but it's still not good.
No.
It's like it's such that freaking well, we're gonna kind of take some of these older dudes from our southern roots and and kind of mix them in, but we kind of have some of these young dudes. But the Horsemen were still cool, but like it's such a
Yeah.
hodgepodge mishmash of like everybody together, and it's doesn't work. And you can see how they were bleeding viewers and money until Bischoff or whatever comes in. So for Nitro, so that's gonna be awkward 5 years from that. Good Lord. So when was Wrestle War? In February of 91?
Yeah, February 9.
Okay. Got it. All right, y'all. So as a producer of this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, not Stitcher, because it's gone forever, y'all. Google Play. That's the best way to do it. Just do it on Google or your Amazon device. So they play the Brothers Comics podcast. It's very funny to do that. And it'll actually play it and come up. Although the enunciation part, you really gotta use your white people talking voice. And when I say it, it doesn't come out necessarily sometimes. So I have to like really, hey, could you play the Brothers Comic podcast, and you can get it out that way. So take the bass out your voice. So yeah, so just find it there, rate, review, subscribe, all of that stuff. I'm signing off. Go ahead and sign off, Brother Beavis.
Podcast one stock at 205, just in case you're keeping score at home.
If you were trying to get it on the bottom floor, it's only going to get more to the bottom, y'all. Because
There's
holy
always a
shit.
basement.
There's
Most
oh
buildings
my
have a
god.
basement.
Yeah, if you're just gonna have that stack to throw at, you let your cats play with it because that's about what it's worth. Put it in the bottom of your cat's kitty litter because that's what
That'll
it's worth, y'all.
probably rebound and they'll all make money and they'll be laughing at us. So
Yes, for sure.
whatever.
All right. So we'll see you guys for Wrestle War later on. Peace, everybody.